3D video editing. Just watch this clip. Like literally, after watching this, only one thing must have come to your mind: a fancy computer or laptop. If yes, then you are wrong, because you can create this type of video on your mobile phone too. The condition is that you should have a phone and creativity, which you will get by the end of this video. So let's start this groundbreaking video. Okay, so let's understand the basics. As you might know, 3D editing involves a 3D camera. But how does the 3D camera actually work? Well, a 3D camera behaves like a real-life camera. You can manipulate the 3D camera in 3 ways. First, by changing the position. Second, by changing the orientation, which you can also call rotation. And third, by movement, which means framing. So now you know what the camera does, but how do you control it? That's where the 3 dimensions come in, which are the x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. The x-axis means moving the position left and right, the y-axis means moving the position up and down, and the z-axis means moving the position forward and backward. Enough theory, let's move on to the practical part. Okay, so here I'll open the 3D application on the fridge. When you open the application, you'll see an interface like this. Don't be afraid because it's very easy. Just click on New to create a new project. Here, you'll see 4 or 5 options, which I'll quickly explain. In the Offsite section, there are 2 options given. One is modeling, and the other is animation. Basically, in the modeling section, you will prepare your model, and when your model is ready, you will come to the animation section to animate it. If you look at the downside, there are many lines drawn. Framing, which I will use in this video. Let's talk about other options. If you right-click on the left side, you'll see many options where you can select different shapes. From there, you can add text, add a 3D camera, and even add light. If you right-click more, this application's asset store will open, where you can download and customize 3D models. For now, I'll close this, and you should see 3 options here. With the first option, you can move the position. With the second option, you can rotate, and the third option is for scaling. Now let's go to the modeling section, and if you look down, you'll see some boxes. You can customize your model, and here you'll see a separate option where you can add bones to your model. If you click on the 3 lines on the right side, the settings will open, where you can import and export 3D models, save your project, render it, and do all these things. For now, let's put these basic things aside and quickly edit our clip on WhatsApp. Alright, first we need to create a grid, so we need a shape for that. Let's click here and select a plane shape. Now let's bring the red arrow forward like this. You can move this on the screen this way. Once that's done, we need to enlarge it. So click on this option and drag the line to enlarge it like this. So, I'll enlarge it like this. Once it's enlarged, zoom out. Bring it forward like this. To convert it into a box, click on the second box from the bottom. You'll notice a blue line, but when I click on this table icon, it will convert into an arrow. Now, drag this blue arrow downwards. After doing this, our box is ready, as you can see. However, this box has gone below the surface. To bring it up, click on the first box from the bottom. And as I told you before, to change the position, use this option and drag the green arrow upwards. Now you can see that a box has appeared on the surface. If you click on the box, you get to see some options. From here you can hide it, click on it to change the layer's name, copy it, create a group, center it, or even delete it. Meanwhile, on the left side, 2 more options have been unlocked. If I click on the material, you get to see options like changing the color, changing the texture, and more. So, for now, I will just do one thing and click on the plus sign. From here, I will add a grid background, which I use all the time. Now, if you look here, your grid box has been activated, but the work is not finished here. Some work is still left. So I will zoom in like this, and the inside situation is like this. I feel that the length is a bit off, so I will zoom out again. To increase the length, I will go to the scale option again and drag it this way to fit. I will check again. Okay, I have set it up. If I show you from inside, it will look something like this. One thing you might notice is that the wall on the side is a bit short. To make that wall bigger, zoom out again, bring it to this position, then click on the second box below, and then click here and drag it upwards. Again, click here and drag it upwards as well, but now it has gone just below the surface. Let's bring it up like before. So, I will go to the first box below, go to the position option, and drag it upwards. So, our box is ready. Now, we will create a wall in the middle for partition. Click here to open the plane shape, and now it looks small. So zoom in and drag it from the scale option. I will increase it from here as well. After doing this, go to the position option and move it up using the green arrow. After doing this, we need to rotate it. Click on the transform option. You will see 3 options: position, rotation, and scale. For now, we need to rotate. But if you want to rotate, you can also click here to rotate, but I don't find it better that way. For now, what I will do is come to the rotate section and use the Z-axis. I'll make a 90-degree change for the payment. When you type 90 degrees here, it will become straight. Now go to the position option, and I'll move a niche upwards. Now this thing is working fine. I'll click on it and go to the material option. Then, I'll go to texture below. This is our grid background which we added earlier. I'll click on it, and you'll see that a grid background is automatically added here. We need to match the alignment. Basically, if it doesn't match, click here, and you can drag it to match. If you think the alignment is off, go to scale and set it from here. Now you can see that the alignment is matching well. You'll see that we are going to animate the camera from here, and this wall is going to disturb us a lot, so we'll cut it. To cut, click on the second box from the bottom, and then you'll see a knife icon. Click on it and mark it this way. Then simply click on it. Now, you'll see that the part is separated. I'll delete the upper part from here. The next step is to add our material. First, I'll take a cube. I'll zoom in and come to the position section and drag it like this, and we'll overlap the shadows. It looks very small, but no worries, we'll increase its size. I'll go to transform. I'll go to scale, because we need to increase its size. I'll set the X value to 20. I'll set the Y value to around 2. I'll set the Z value to 20. If you want it square, set all the values to 20. For now, I'll do this, and it creates a shape like this. I'll adjust it a bit and click on it. Then, I'll go to Material and Texture and choose a texture from here. So, it looks something like this. The texture is a bit inverted, so I'll go to Rotation and rotate it. It now has a 3D look, as you can see. When it's done, we need to set the light. Click here and choose a light from here. Then, we'll use it for tracking. You can see that the light is set, but we'll change some settings a bit. I'll increase the intensity slightly, and also increase the range to 20. Enable the shadow completely by setting it to 1. Alright, I've added a light here. Now, we need to set the 3D camera, so I'll quickly bring in a 3D camera. Then, by jumping in here, you'll see extra settings. Click on that, and now you're in the camera view. Let's animate this camera. I'll go to animation and first bring it to this position because our camera will start from here. You can animate it from any position. It's up to you. We'll start with the values at the bottom, which are 0. Click on the 0 value, and you'll see a stopwatch icon on the right side. Click on that, and it will turn red, indicating that a key framing point has been added. Now, I'll scroll forward, and at 100, I'll click on it again. Remember to click first, and then animate it in this way. Drag it with both hands like this. After this, simply click on the stopwatch again. Now, let me play it once and show you. Now, I'll move forward again. Let's say to 200, and click on 200. just do it this way. You can animate it however you want. Then, I'll add a keyframe here by clicking on the stopwatch. You need to keep adding keyframes wherever you want to animate the camera. Before adding more keyframes here, I'll add material. So, I'll go to modeling again, but this time I won't add a texture material. Instead, I'll bring in a logo. For that, I'll click on the 3 lines and then click on 3D import. Here, I'll take the YouTube logo. The YouTube logo looks very small, so as I mentioned earlier, you need to scale it up again. I'll go to scale again and set it to 20. Now you need to set it to 20 everywhere, in the SKL section. And then I'll move it upwards, and adjust it a bit here. Okay, so I've added the logo here. Now, if you see a black part in the background, click here. For that, go to the material section. Now adjust it a bit lower, and here you can see transparency. Reduce its transparency. Let's do it like this. Now, I'll quickly set up a light here. For that, I'll bring a light from here. Okay, now let's go to animation and go to the camera option. I'll make it jump in and simply, I'll do the same. Alright, so I had stopped animating the camera at this position. So from here, if you want to animate it further, you can do more. Okay, so our final animation is done here. Okay, so if you've come this far, I'd like to congratulate you because you have now learned how to date 3D videos. But if you want to explore more editing, click on this video and check it out.